Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Hard Truth Show. I apologize for the slight delay. Had a little bit of technical difficulties there getting the live stream sync up. Guys, I tip my hat to everyone out there that does these live streams. Man, this is a lot of work. You got your laptop, all your audio equipment, film equipment, lighting equipment. This ain't easy stuff. I forgot one thing. I'm gonna give this a try tonight. Round two. Yeah, still not. I got to get this studio thing sorted out. So, guys, welcome in the house, everybody that's popping in. I want to say this real quick before I get started tonight. That this is probably going to be the last video that I cover on the rona-19. But the thing is, I want this video to be a very important one because the things I'm going to say in this video set the tone for years to come. Because now what I'm going to say, I stand behind it 100%. And hello, everybody. I'm going to scoot over here real quick and make sure that I have got your feed. Because for some reason, guys, I don't know what has been going on here lately, but I must be on the right path trying to serve y'all because the everything I touch, it's just been a nightmare lately. Like from flat tires to somebody nearly running me off the road and killing me the other day. To laptops not working during live stream. Literally everything was running fine, and then all of a sudden now the laptop is froze up again. So it's whatever. I'll come back to that in a second. Just as soon as I can get in the studio app here, guys, I'll get in your comments, and y'all will, and that'll work. So just pray it does. Anyway, I hope everybody had a great Sabbath today. Those that honor the Father's Lunisolar Biblical Creators Calendar. I know that's a mouthful, but many of us are living in the world today where the pagan Roman calendar is sadly the thing that everybody follows after. And there was a great fellowship today out where we fellowship with everyone, and I just truly enjoy it. And anybody that's in East Tennessee, you want a good place to worship, come. You can't complain about how hard Satan works. Hey man, I tell you what, he's pouring it on me here lately. But anyway, guys, for everybody that, like I said, that keeps Sabbath, happy Sabbath to everybody. I had a great day fellowshipping with everybody. Drove out to Middle Tennessee today, fellowshipped out there in Crossville, drove back home. Now I'm in the studio tonight to spend the evening with you guys here for probably an hour or two. Got a lot to cover, but right before I do, I want to say hope you have a wonderful new moon day tomorrow as well. All right, guys, let me go in on this right here and see if I can see your comments now that this is finally loaded. And I think that we've got a winner. Just bear with me. Like I said, I've got a ton of stuff to cover. All right. So if you've seen the title, obviously you kind of got an idea what we're going to be covering tonight, and a very large spectrum. You've got to understand nowadays that the freedom that we have is been slowly eroded ever since 9/11. And I'm really trying to be careful with what I say on here, how I say it, because the algorithms apparently, just so you know, that ever since the start of the Hard Truth Show, everything's been fine for a while. And then all of a sudden lately, they went back and demonetized a ton of my content. And not that it's about the money, but I'm just saying, guys, like, even after this stuff passes the filters, they come back later, and they've really been hammering me lately. So I'm just trying to, like, really be careful with how I say things and the words, because I think they've got some pretty good bots out there and stuff and things now to filter this stuff out on YouTube, like what us content creators are saying and doing. All right, so, the new normal. What is this? Is this the new normal, or is this just a control mechanism? And something I want to say is I've got 5 articles here that I want to share some stuff here and there out of, but something that I didn't share up is that if you notice, a lot of news media outlets have just absolutely been trying to push this agenda, the new normal, the new normal, the new normal. And no, it's not the new normal. It's your new normal, but it's not my new normal, okay? I don't want that to be my new normal. And, I don't know if it's the fact that there's about 9 stupid people for every one enlightened person nowadays, and I don't mean to be disrespectful and slanderous to people, but, like, seriously, like, we've got to wake up, and if you get all your truth from the news, then you're probably in a bad spot. Somebody said, I seen that one on the cam here. Social distancing is the most Orwellian crap I've ever heard. All right, guys, I'm gonna check out the comments real quick, and then we're gonna hammer down. See, somebody said hello from Michigan. Love you, brother, and your interpretations. I thought SAT day is the Sabbath. I encourage everyone that thinks SAT day is the Sabbath to please check out worldslastchance.com and check out the Lunisolar Scriptural Biblical Calendar. Somebody said shalom, everyone. Everybody's piling in. Shalom to everybody. Love y'all. All right. If you watch the news, you probably wear a mask in your car. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So with that said, I want to say this. The questions I want you to consider tonight during this live presentation, and before we get into the common, guys, I'll chat it up with you later as always, like usual on the lives, is will you submit? Will you submit? Now, if you're already wearing a mask out in public, just like somebody just pointed, then you pretty much you've already submitted to this thing. Will you resist? Okay. Somebody said the mass mark the goats. That's deep right there, because the sheep hear the voice, right? And they know. Will you die for what you believe and stand in? And do you want the new kingdom? Because the reason I ask that question for those that do watch this program that are of faith is that if you want the new kingdom, then what is here right now is not what you want. Okay, just so we understand, like, this is the new world order currently here. Okay, and if you want the new kingdom, then get in line, because that's going to be a hot minute, because we've got some things that we got to go through before that. All right. Now, with that said, the one thing that I want to say before we go to the 5 articles, and guys, I'm so sorry for being so fractured tonight on I've usually just got point. I literally booked it back across Middle Tennessee to be here with you in on time and keep my word with you. The thing that I want to say is the last thing that I didn't have in time in my notes is that I want you to look up, and I may post it back in the video description below tonight late or first thing in the morning if I can find it, is that the news media outlets, somebody put an expose together of I can't tell how many media outlets back to back pushing this agenda of the new normal. Like, that's just like everything they were saying is new normal. And what somebody said, me either proud to say I've been maskless 2019 through 2020. Yeah, I'm not wearing a mask, gloves either. Guys, let me tell you something. I've made it a point that any store that I have to actually wear a glove, mask, anything like that, I won't give them my business. Like, that's how intent I am not to have a part with this garbage. All right, now, somebody said right here, you are correct. Somebody said, yeah, guys, I got to be honest with you. For those of you who are confused about Sabbath, I really encourage you to check out, like I said, World's Last Chance. I'm going to adjust this cam just a little bit. I encourage you guys to check out World's Last Chance because the Lunisolar Scriptural Biblical Calendar is not one and the same with the Roman one. Saturday is not the Sabbath. I know that's a hard pill to swallow, but here's the deal, guys. If you go just back in time and you look at it, Saturday used to be the first day of the week. Sunday actually used to be the 7th day of the week on the Roman calendar. Now, that's a fact. Now, you go further back of that, the lunisolar 8-day Roman calendar, Fasti Antiotes Majoris, look that up, Google it. There used to be an 8-day Roman lunisolar week. So, I assure you, Rome's calendars and y'all's calendars are not one and the same. Somebody said, if y'all wants me to have Rona, I'll go ahead and get it twice, but never wearing a mask. All right, so with everything I've said, like I said, check out that news link thing about all these news stations trying to indoctrinate people, because, ladies and gentlemen, the news is the filter for indoctrinating people. Not only that, the stuff that children is going to have to be a part of going back to school next year is insanity. It is like socialism at its finest, indoctrination for the New World Order. These poor kids, I just feel so sorry for them, those that's going to the public school indoctrination camp. All right. So, if you go down into the links that I have provided in the video description below, now the first one is from a blog. Just want to share this for what it's worth. If you want to check it out, it's Lightgate Blogger. And the article is how CV-19, how fraud brought the world to a standstill. And very interesting read. I encourage you to check it out. Now, I'm not going to get into that one. Like I said, that's just for what it's worth. What I want to start with is, if you pull this up, it's from the Washington Times, all right? And this is the whole deal right here. In Georgia, kicks off chilling door-to-door CV-19 blood collections. All right. Now, right here it says they have in Georgia, at least, where the state's Department of Public Health, in cooperation with both Fulton County and Delco County's Board of Health, that to learn more about the spread of COVID-19, an investigation has commenced, and it's an investigation that leading government officials to make random stops at randomly selected residents and ask random citizens for, get this, their blood. Now, like I said, this is in the Washington Times. I just want to say this, that if this is true, now I usually can read a lot of articles and believe it, but if this ridiculousness is really, really true, in this particular article, all right, that number one is you're violating the Fourth Amendment right of our Constitution. Like I go back to anymore when I have conversations about Scripture with people, I'm like, what does Messiah say, and what does the Ten Commandments and the Torah say? That's my goalpost, right? Now, when it comes to political things, our personal sovereignty, okay, and somebody said go kick rocks, punk. Yeah, I know, guys. I'm just saying. I want to read some of this article to you. Because what I'm saying is if we look at the Constitution as the ultimate source of law in this land under the Most High Yah, then this is a violation of our Fourth Amendment rights. This is a violation of human rights. This is like some Bill Gates crap right here, okay? Anyway, it says here, citizens' DNA in the hands of unelected government officials. What could go wrong there? Specifically, Georgia's health wonks want to know the percentage of people in the community who have been affected with the virus that causes rona-19. A statement on the state's Department of Health webpage said, and get that, the data, the government need citizens' blood, don't you know? Okay, it's completely voluntary. It's completely up to good citizens of Georgia to decide whether or not to turn over their blood to the government. Now, here's the deal. Your blood, the scripture says that the life is in the blood. Everything, listen, if our blood wasn't precious, then these psychopathic, Hollywood, pedophilia, cannibalistic, adrenochrome drinking, vampire, psychotic, Satan worshiping junkies, I think I fit all that in there. Yeah, if that wasn't the case, that our blood wasn't important, then these people wouldn't be trying to get high off this stuff all the time, okay? Guys, there is something, vampires, exactly, there is something going on out here that, like, literally the blood is becoming a thing that is like everybody wants our blood. And I'm serious, like, because there's something serious. Oh, did I leave pedophiles out? I'm so sorry if I left pedophiles out on them. But the thing is like, if you look at the ID 2020 thing, the certificate of vaccinations and all that stuff, here's where I'm left off with it. Sorry, guys, give me just a second there. If you look at the ID 2020 program and all the crap going on, they pushed that back a whole year, okay? A whole year. Now, my question to that is, why are you pushing back something that you were already pushing real hard before CV-19 started? And the thing is, I think that it comes down to they're wanting a certificate. They're wanting a blood sample. They're wanting biometrics. They're wanting to push as much stuff into that as possible. And I think that's why the ID 2020 thing got pushed back, and that's why this is so interesting, this article, if you take time to read it. And guys, I don't want to just spend so much time reading articles on this anymore. I just want to use this stuff kind of as a guidepost and reference. Somebody said, yes. And that's where I'm getting at, is like, on this live stream, this is not really a court of public opinion. I know a lot of us are same mindset on here, but like, you've got to stop and ask these questions like, when the flip? I'm 34, going on 35, right? And when in your lifetime, because anybody that's older than me, and there's a lot of people follow this channel older than me, I know there's elders that follow this channel, tell me in your whole lifetime when somebody ever came knocking at your door asking for your life. And when I say life, because that is the most precious thing we have is our DNA. There's nothing more precious than that, than our consciousness, okay? So when I have any time in the point of human history has anyone ever came asking for this stuff? Matter of fact, somebody I was fellowshipping with today was telling me about when they went to get their new driver's license, how they made sure to get a lot of biometrics off their face. And so I'm just saying, like, if this is not a red flag to you all of the impending New World Order, I don't know what is. And, I mean, somebody said, While getting burned out with all this BS. Yeah, I agree. They need to consent they need consent. Anything that gets pushed back, they holster temporarily. Absolutely, and that's the thing. Somebody said, I'm not kidding. I had a nurse a few years ago accidentally blurt out, "We need to draw some of your tasty blood." She looked embarrassed and blushed. Whoa. Uh, let's see. Wow, man. Some of these comments, guys, I'm telling you all, anybody that's in the live feed tonight, you should read some of these comments. It's crazy. Anyway, I want to read just a few more excerpts from the article here. Anyway, it says teams will be visiting randomly selected homes in Fulton and DeKalb counties to ask residents questions about their health and to collect blood samples for an antibody test. The release states antibodies are proteins the body makes in response to infection. The antibody test can tell us whether a person might have had a past infection with the virus that causes rona-19. The antibody test is not meant to diagnose whether a person has rona-19 now. Now, here's the deal. This goes into, like I said, later, that we're here with the brother. I appreciate you guys. Here's the thing. This is like verbiage. Now, guys, you got to understand I'm an electrician and a contractor. I'm not a lawyer. But this is the kind of verbiage right here that states what we're really doing is setting a precedent for later that we will make this a mandatory thing before we give you permits, licenses, and etc. the ability to travel. Because the big thing that stuck out to me was with the TSA thing is that I fly often. Now, I don't fly a lot, but I fly often. And especially starting to pick up more and more nowadays. This year I'll probably make a record in flying constantly. Is with my travels. And you, like with that ID 2020 thing, you had to have a star on your, you had to have the star on your driver's license in order to fly at that point. And like I'm saying, now this is going to come down to a point where I believe that to get the biometrics and to get the blood from you, they're going to emphasize that, hey, you can't have these licenses, you can't have the ability to travel, all this crap until that you give this. Now, keep in mind, but one has to wonder when the government comes a knocking, will the voluntary aspects of the blood collection be clearly emphasized? And that's the thing. There's a way that when the police shows up at your door, they can say things that doesn't come off as if it's voluntary at all. Like I've noticed how officers will pull people over and immediately impose upon them they've done a crime. I'm going to tell y'all a funny story real quickly, and then we're going to read a little bit more on this, and then I'm going to move to the next thing. I was pulled over by a police officer. Now, I didn't wear my seatbelt. Let me tell you, I don't like wearing my seatbelt. If I want to die in a car wreck, I'll die in a car wreck, all right? Now, the thing is, I chose not to wear my seatbelt. Now, I went past a police officer that was on a motorcycle, and he pulled out and come up behind me. So I clipped my belt. Now, when he got up there, he pulled me over, and he's like, "You didn't have that on when you passed me." I'm like, I'm just sitting here not really saying anything. I'm like, "You got proof of evidence? You got a picture? That's your word versus my word. When you pulled me over here, I am in the seatbelt." His face went real red. And I told him, he was like license registration. So I gave him license registration. And he could tell I was going to be a tool bag. And I intentionally was a tool bag. And I was like, I'm not about putting a seatbelt on. Okay, I just went into my whole premise for not putting a seatbelt on. As a matter of fact, I explained that I know of a situation where the only person that lived was the person that wasn't seatbelted in, and the officer went on to agree with me that it wasn't right that I was forced to wear a seatbelt. And see, that's the thing, is it's another one of those deals with Nazi Germany that we're just doing our job. See, guys, I'm too woke to care anymore. Like I see things for what it is, and it's like, the minute he came to the door, was I guilty? Absolutely, I was guilty of the law here in the state that I live in. But the thing is, could he prove that? And the thing is that it's always we're guilty having to prove ourselves innocent, where we live in a land where the laws are supposed to cover us that we're innocent till proven guilty. So when you look at this right now, is this supposed to be voluntary? Yeah, but when they show up on people's doors knocking, a lot of people out of fear is just going to do what they're going to say. And it says even the children are asked to donate. Oh, because, we can't get enough adrenochrome out there as it is for these pedos and cannibals and crap. Anyway, oh, a matter of fact, ever since Epstein's situation, man, oh man, have you seen some of these actors and stuff coming out? How they look like their death warmed over because they ain't been getting their hit of drugs. Have y'all seen this? It's crazy, man. Um, so anyway, here's the questions. Like, where's my blood going? What happens if they learn I had, rona-19 caused by this new virus? What happens to my blood after you test it? Who's going to have access to my children's blood? I mean, guys, what if they took your blood and then put it somewhere and said that you were part of a crime? Like, when this stuff leaves you anymore, um, you don't really have precedent over your own being. All right, if the government really wanted volunteers, government will post a flyer, send out a letter, they'd pay people. Absolutely. This is very scary stuff, guys. And you need to read the rest of this article. And that's just one example that I have of the new overreach that is going on. And the thing is it's not only overreach, it's a conditioning of the mind. I want you to understand that. If you get nothing else from this show that I produce now, if you don't get anything else from it, I just want you to think for yourself. I want you to really question the reality we live in anymore, because these are not normal times. These are unprecedented times. And real quickly, before I go to the next article, I want to catch up some of the comments you guys have said in here. Give me just a second. Somebody said industrial electrician here, power plant. Hey, shout out to my electrical brothers out here. Somebody said a bird hit my car windshield yesterday, hit my house window this morning near my Wi-Fi router at the same time my Wi-Fi was on the whack. Wow, 5G is being turned on. All you have to say is you do not consent. That's it. Yeah, for sure. Wow, somebody said that here in Washington State, if they say you have the virus, they can take you or your kid out of the house. That's crazy, guys. Absolutely. Somebody said 6 feet apart to identify remotely. Absolutely. Yeah, and that's a great point that David Pelton shared, is that they can say they can change your DNA. Absolutely. Who knows what they may do with your DNA once they take it, guys? It's off the hook. All right, so the next thing I want to point out is that the CDC failed tests were tainted, is an article that was published. And, I tried to take a lot of this stuff a grain of salt. But, a federal investigation, this was in 4/20 of this year, says and like I said, some of these things, I try to take it with a grain of salt anymore and read through it. But they found the researchers wasn't following protocol, and that apparently some of the tests were tainted. Because people were apparently, a while back, I heard about this too, is that they were taking the tests, and the next thing you know, they didn't have Rona-19, but then they were showing positive for Rona-19. And, at the end of the day, when government has any hands in anything anymore, it becomes an absolute cluster, guys. I can't overly state how bad that, the financial thing has went awry with this whole with the whole stimulus package thing. Like, now they're wanting to hand out another check to everybody. People, you don't just get to print money out of thin air. There's a thing called inflation. There's a thing called paying it back. It's crazy. And somebody said it's fear-based mind control, and it is. Listen, this is why I'm saying that you got to understand, we couldn't fight a war on terror forever. This is going to be the new thing now. I wouldn't be surprised this winter there's not another crazy virus or a mutation of the Rona-19. Like, that they've been showing now, stats have been coming out that apparently the survival rate is over 99% in some countries and locations. 99%, guys. Like I said, the world got shut down over a 99% survival rate. And I'm always going to go to it. Abortion is the number one killer in the world right now. So the next invisible boogeyman, somebody say, there you go. Now, this is the next thing that I want to cover. I was just real short on that CDC thing because I just want you to understand that the same people that are asking you to give them their blood, give them your blood, is the same people that are giving you tests to see if you got Rona and is infecting you with Rona. So, hey, man, if you want to trust these people, by all means, don't let Luke get in your way. Let's see. Now, the next thing, and this was earlier today, and brothers and sisters at Sabbath shared this with me. But Trump announced that houses of worship are essential and calls on governors to open them up. You know, your freedom of religion, it's not a suggestion, it's a right. And you know, this closing down places of worship, you know, you have a choice to go and worship if you want to. You know, we have a right to that. Okay. And guys, I can't overly state the Bill of Rights. Like, if you don't know the Bill of Rights, like after you learn the Ten Commandments, the next thing you should learn after that's like the Bill of Rights these days. Like, you should know the Ten Commandments and the Bill of Rights on a whim. Okay. And, you know, with Trump saying this just goes to show you the encroachment and the thirst for power that governors have. Like, you know, keep in mind, it's been stated in a public interview that one governor said that they didn't even keep the Bill of Rights in mind whenever they were writing their executive order. Like, these people are not my authority figures. Like, comes a point where it's like, okay, you were elected and you were in office and I'm supposed to comply to you. But the minute you step outside of the bounds of the Bill of Rights, like, that order is not to be, I'm not going to acknowledge that order. I'm not going to keep that. You know, and I think somewhere down the line, it's going to get so bad that the people do rise up and revolt. And I think it's going to cost a lot of people their lives, public off, you know, people that are public safety, innocent, everyday, hardworking people. There's going to probably be a lot of people lose their lives in the years to come because people's going to rise up and revolt and not put up with this. It actually is very inspiring to me to see the things that were done in Virginia and the things that were done in Michigan, because the New World Order will fall. Now, I don't think it will fall by our hands, folks. I believe 100% it's going to fall when Messiah comes back by his hand. But I believe that there will be people that rise up. I think there's going to be pockets of resistance across this world to the thing that's which is coming. And real quickly, before I touch on some of the stuff in this article, I just want to read some of these comments, catch up real quick. Somebody said, we were doing a thing online, government site, and the code thing that you have to copy to show you're not a robot was beast. Somebody said, the enemy is showing us how much control he has over the public. Yeah, you know, I was noticing a thing about HARP today. Elder was telling me about this on the way to Sabbath. The road with me today was that HARP information is out there so much now, information about HARP, that they don't even care that they're killing us. They don't care they're modifying the weather. They don't care about the whole adrenochrome thing being out there. The Epstein lid blew that open, and the, what was it, Clinton's emails, all that stuff. I mean, like, guys, all this stuff's out here now, and they just, like, put it in our face, and they don't care. I mean, like, the New World Order is up on us. Somebody said the end of the age is up on us. This is it. Glory to absolutely the Most High. Accept Messiah. Absolutely live as holy as capable of living. Seriously, folks, this is it. Absolutely, Bill. Somebody said that what got me. They shut the schools down. Good. Indoctrination centers. Now they shut religious buildings down, and people let it happen. The church let it happen. Somebody said, I'm trying to get out of here for all the stuff falls apart. Somebody said they shut everything but Planned Parenthood down, never close, always make a way to murder a baby. Absolutely. You know, the abortion mills are always running, folks, 24 hours a day, 360-something days a year. I say 360-something days, guy, because I know the Father's calendar count and the world's Roman calendar count ain't the same. All right, so guys, let's look at this article with Trump. If you want to pull it up and check this out. Here's what the word is. Right here it says that President Trump, on Pagan F Day today, announced that the new Centers for Disease Control Guidance will classify houses of worship as essential, as he called governors allow them to open right now after being closed during the Rona shutdown. And here's the deal. They should have been essential to begin with. Just like I went over the Second Amendment the other day, it's not a suggestion. It is a right. So, you know, this is so bad with this church thing. I seen a pastor do a video post, and it made its rounds on Facebook, that there was the whole police force in town, even a detective, down there at a, it was in Mississippi, is in Mississippi, Alabama, that the pastor was out there. Somebody say, oh, I got you guys. Anyway, the pastor was out there showing people. Oh, somebody said they locked him up. Man, is he was out there on the parking lot that morning before anybody else showed up for service, and the whole police force was down there. Now, guys, the one I think y'all talking about locked up was in Florida. This is a different instance I'm talking about, but he literally live streamed it, and the cops then moved down the street because he had embarrassed the crap out of them. And then only one or two stayed, and they were fining everybody that showed up to go to church. I'm like, number one, you're on private property. You have no business being there. No crime was committed, so you don't have the right to be there. Number two is these people have the right to peaceably assemble on their First Amendment right. I've seen that in Mississippi. Yeah, it was in Mississippi. And, guys, I don't know whatever shook down with that situation, but like this took this many months for it to build up this big a situation that President Trump's had to say something to governors. Now it's like, this is essential. Like when sickness and death and the end of the world is going on, is like fellowship not essential. Like I'm not even, I don't even go to SAT day and SUN day church, right? I keep the Father's Lunar Solar Biblical Calendar, and I assemble and worship on his set apart day by his time frame. But I'm just saying, like, people that still are in Babylon, are you not going to rise up and say something to the New World Order that you still want to be able to sit around, or you still want to assemble and worship in your place of worship? Like literally over here in the town that I live in, they had a church service where everybody came, but they had to sit in their vehicle for fellowship. Like, I'm just like, we can go down here to Walmart and stand in line like herded cattle and get biometrically scanned 6 feet apart, temperature scans some places, and go in and shop and be 2 feet from each other. But where it really matters and go to church and fellowship and assemble together, we can't do that, right? Because that seems exactly the right thing to do. So anyway, it says Trump said that in America we need more prayers, not less. Said the governments need to do the right thing and allow these very important essential places of faith to open right now for this weekend. Trump said if they don't do it, I will override the governors. And number one, Trump don't need to have to override the governor because the Bill of Rights covers that, and which is a more higher authority than even he. But that's beside the point. So anyways, guys, if you want to digest that, there's something fresh off the press that you can look at that as well. But the last thing I want to cover, and if you've never seen the show Jericho, I really encourage you to watch the show, or the 2 seasons of Jericho, because, after the country fell apart, there was a whole reorganization of states. There was a whole reorganization. You could just see how the country shook back together. And I see that there's like a rift in this country. There's like, thank you guys. I've seen somebody said good show. I hope this is helpful in enlightening people. But I see a rift in this country coming where there's 3 segmentations. There's like the North, there's the South, and then there's the middle of the U.S. Because like the West Coast is just, it's like a third world country now. I don't even look at California, Oregon, and Washington with respect anymore. Like you're all states like are gone in my mind. It's like the Pacific states of America in The Man in the High Castle. Like that every time I go out there to work and do construction and solar and off grid stuff for y'all, it's like, oh, can't do a rain catchment in this state. Oh, got to do this here. Oh, got to be careful with this solar inverter here. We got to have it California compliant. I mean, it's just bullcrap. Every time I turn around, like y'all live in a banana republic out there. Any of those states you live in up through there right now, it's just a banana republic. And congratulations on that. You need to get the flip out. Somebody said, man, y'all that live out there, I see the frustration all the time. You just come on here and just drop the frustration. People saying it's ridiculous about the church being locked down. Absolutely. But don't cross the line. Boom. Yep. Yes, I loved watching that. It opened my eyes, many things. You'd be surprised how many good people there is over there, though. Yeah, it's true. Guys, I've had a lot of friends and a lot of people, come from out there and move out here to Tennessee. Not only that, believers, people that just, want to get off grid, just lots of different folks. There's a lot of good people out there that's moved out here from Cali. But if I can get this page to load, I'm going to go over this in just a second. But there's 8 states that still have not locked down. Now, the the point that I want to make about these states not locking down is I believe it was South Dakota has only had 13 or 16 deaths. I believe it is. It might be an 18. Anyway, it's less than 20, guys. Okay, and throughout the whole course of this time, these states have had like hardly anything going on compared to the states that lock down and things like that, right? And it just goes to show you that a lot of these governors, I just want you to take the time and go through this, right? Because it says people have to be responsible for themselves. 8 states still not locked down, right? And I want you to just take time and read this article, because the point that I want to make from this is not so much as read the article, is that just point out that, there's portions of this country that said, we're going to carry on as business as usual. And you don't hear about that in the news. All you hear about is California and New York and Florida, like Disneyland is closed indefinitely. Like this is the stuff you hear about, but you don't hear about the fact that there's actually states out here that are still running business as usual. And the media is making it a point to feed the fear to us like it has never been before. And like I said at the beginning of this video, and I ask this now, as I've covered just a few bases of like the current state of affairs in this world and nation, is will you submit? Like, if later this shakes down that they say, okay, now there's a new strain of this thing, if you don't put on a mask, we're going to have to haul you off to jail. Are you going to submit? Will you resist? Because, it's okay to say, I'm not going to comply, but like, will you resist when like the real heat is turned up in the furnace? Because I fear that I've crossed a line, that I'm past that point of, I feel like I'm starting to cross the threshold in dangerous ground here, because the 3 Hebrew children, resisted. I actually am to the point where I'm almost like, I don't just want to resist. Is there a revolution that like I can sign up for? Like, do you have a form I can fill out? I'd like to join the militia, And I know that there's probably the government, FBI, who knows what, watching this right now. But the thing is sure, you may haul me off and throw me into a hole tomorrow. Who knows? You might come by the house and murder me tonight. But the thing is what I am saying. Millions, tens of millions of Americans in this country are feeling a frustration, a red-blooded constitutional patriotism rising up in them again that has never been since 1776. Guys, I'm telling you, something's coming. And these people are pushing, and they're chipping away at the stone. And I tell you, when you eventually back someone into the corner, that's when they're either going to do one or two things. You're going to see if they were a coward, or they're going to absolutely unleash everything they got on you. And one thing I was thinking about right before I say this other point, because I'm going to ask the last question before I ask you about do you want the new kingdom, is that I don't know if it's occurred to people, but if you do your research in the first revolution, many men lost their lives and their family. And these are people that signed the Declaration of Independence. It came at a great cost. And we're living in the last generation right now, though, guys, where that I believe the cost is going to have to be paid again. The tree of liberty, it grows from, the blood running down, right? It has to be refreshed. And the thing is freedom is never free, and the bill is always freaking due. And I'm telling you what, the tab is laying on the bar, and somebody has drank the cup of wrath that the American people, somebody's got to pay the bill for now. And I believe that check is coming very due, and we are drawing nigh to the last call for drinks, if y'all follow what I'm saying. All right, if I can speak that in parables. And please keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that I want to see every possible person I can saved and enter into the new kingdom. I also want people to understand that if you don't want Nazi Germany, Mao's China, Stalin's Russia, Orwell's 1984, and I can just keep going, then you might want to listen to what I have to say right now, because, like, if you just don't do anything And you also at the same time stand idly by. I believe it was a military veteran that got onto some police officers recently that was like, they were saying, well, we're just doing our job. And he's like, in the Marines, if we think this is a stupid order, then we were instructed by our instructor to tell our officers that we think this is a stupid order. That doesn't mean that they don't carry it out, but still they spoke up. That was their job, to at least speak up. And I was like, man, that's deep. Because when he said that, like the cops, it was a wake up call to them. And, like, I feel like that we have two situations arising currently. Is that our elected officials feel like they're above all authority and they're drunk on power. And the other thing is we have the Nazi Germany, early 30s Nazi Germany, or I'm sorry, later 30s Nazi Germany, where that we have a bunch of Waffen and the SS and all that, where that we're just doing our job kind of guys out there on the street. And I don't need you just doing your job. I need you honoring and upholding the Constitution and protecting and serving, all right? Not controlling and killing, all right? Because apparently, heck, we got people patrolling their own neighborhoods now, shooting and murdering innocent people, just running and jogging in their own neighborhood that stopped off to look at a new construction. Don't worry. I mean, if the cops don't kill you, you got your crazy neighbors to shoot you too. And I won't even get back on that Ahmaud Arbery thing. But let me read some comments here real quickly, guys. Actually, I want to ask this last question that I asked earlier. Will you die for it? That's all I'm asking. Are you willing to die for your faith? Are you willing to die for your freedom? Are you willing to die for what you're standing for? Because these are serious questions we've got to start asking in the years ahead. And you got to do personal inventory. And like I said, the thing is I'm at a point, guys, where I am just getting, what is the word? Cold, calculated. And, yeah, I'm getting to the point where I'm cold and calculated about how I conduct my life. Now, with that said, do I have the love of Yah for my fellow man? Absolutely. But I know that I have enemies in this world. Like we have enemies that are unseen, and we have enemies that are seen. Okay? And if you want the new kingdom, now's the time to start being asking yourself if you want the new kingdom, because what the opposite of the new kingdom is what you have in front of you right now. Satan's kingdom is one of absolute control and authoritarianism and totalitarianism. Read Isaiah, the book Isaiah, how they are fallen, O Lucifer, son of the morning, right? I think it's Isaiah 14. Is read that, because like he wants to sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north and receive worship. He wants to ascend above the heights of the clouds and be like the Most High Yah. Well, the problem with Satan's kingdom is it's not one of love and option. It's one of coercion. If I can't coerce you, I will tempt you. If I can't tempt you, then I will, what is it where you frame somebody for something? Oh, I can't think of the word. But anyway, I'll blackmail you. And if I can't blackmail you, then I'll hurt you. And if I can't hurt you and threaten you, then I'll kill you. Like, I mean, this is the kingdom of Satan, and this is the servants of his kingdom you see running this show right now. All right, like I said earlier, pedophile, adrenochrome drinking, Satan worshiping, child murdering. Guys, if y'all didn't see this, I mean, like, y'all think that I just say this stuff because I guess like Alex Jones and all these other people out here, like the Jesse Venturas and the Alex Joneses and everything. Like, guys, I don't go watch their content to give you a show. I literally have so much to talk about. I could sit here for days and talk about stuff. Like, the thing that bothers me the worst here lately, with all this stuff that's going on, with all the satanic people in Hollywood and everything else, is actually the video from Buckingham Palace, where you see a child trying to escape from, like, I think it was the 3rd floor, and they're going down on a bed sheet, and they slip and fall. And you don't see the child again. And there's people on the street watching this. This is not like, made up or stuff. And this is disturbing, folks. This is disturbing. And it don't get any more disturbing than it is right now. I mean, currently, like, in the whole world we've lived in, you've always known black and white, right and wrong, good and bad. And nowadays, somebody said, I saw that. Guys, I'm telling you, I don't tell you this stuff on here just to make this stuff up. I don't. Real quickly, before I do go into the comments, guys, I just want to say a shout out for the channel sponsor today, If you want to check it out, prepare for the trumpets. The link is in the video description below. If you want to get preparedness food to get you and your family prepared, there's still preparedness food out there available. I know the shelves were cleaned out. A lot of places like beprepared.com and etc. There's a lot of places out there that are cleaned out, but I've got you a link down below. If you want to get you some good prepping food, well, things are still available. With that said, let's get in the comments. And guys, I'm going to chop this up with you now. I'm going to rewind just a hair back. And right before I do read the comments, I just want to say this, that when I talk about politics, I know I hammer the new word. I've been at this, I guess now, we're in this about a month deep on the show, and there's a lot of stuff that I want to lay down a premise for where I'm coming from, because I want, when I talk about relationships, I want that to build on the next video. And like politics and religion, I want each thing to build onto the next video. And that's why that I wanted to cover Rona-19 one more time for the last time on this channel, because after today, Rona-19 is dead to me. It is dead to me. Articles are dead to me. Whatever laws they pass are dead to me. I don't care at this point. I'm done with it. It has over a 99% survival rate. It is lies. It is one of the greatest hoax in the history of humanity that has ever been. It is whatever's went on in the background while this has been going on. Months, years later, we're going to find out that things that went on this year while we were busy being distracted with Rona-19, that crazy stuff went on. Now, hold on just a second, guys. I see some of the comments coming through. I'm going to get back to it. Give me just a second. Somebody said we've been off grid in Colorado for 36 months. That's awesome. Somebody said all of Canada is like California. Somebody said I butt heads with my fellow church members. They tried telling me these new regulations trump my constitutional rights to assemble. These people are crazy, and that's what I'm saying, folks. A lot of these people you're going to church with will be the ones that call up to sell you out one day. Somebody said I live in Northern California, can't stand it, hoping to move to Arizona soon. Let's see what somebody said here. Agreed. Such disdain for Oregon and Washington and California, of course. I'm in the Texas Triangle. Somebody said Jericho is a good show. It's survival of the fittest, unfortunately. I live in D.C. Metro, and folks are getting the Rona. The sis had it, but recovered. Guys, I'll be honest with you. I think people are getting H1N1 and some of this other stuff, and they're just labeling it Corona. I really do, because the stats are so low on flu now this year that they've had to make corrections on that. And it must have been good, because Facebook made it a point to pull people's articles when they shared that. And yes, I know not everything is true news. This is why I tell you stuff, and I look into it myself, and then I tell you to go research for yourself. All right? But said right here, said nope, I'll see you all in jail. That's right. I'll probably be 6 feet under, folks. I'm just too rebellious, and I'm getting more rebellious every passing day. And because the reason I am so rebellious is two things. I want the Father's kingdom. I'm not down for this government. And the second thing is that these people have ruined my life. Like this whole year, I thought 2020 was going to be my year. And literally, like, it has just been disastrous for so many people, and just ruining of so many things. Like, I mean, this is the year I'm supposed to be married. I'm getting married in less than 3 weeks, and like it's just been a stupid something going on this whole year, all year long. Anyway, said my friend worked for Disney. She said people wanted that fast pass, and they forgot about everything else that's closing. Sure, I'll wear a mask. No vaccine. You hadn't seen nothing yet. The world has nothing I want at this point. They cannot persuade me to do anything. Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. That's right. Yeah, all would wear a mask to keep the peace, but like you, no vaccine, not willing to go put fighting. But here's the problem with that, guys. This is the problem with this, is if we wear the mask, see, you said wear the mask to keep peace, and the problem is it's wear the mask today. Then it's like, well, we really need you to take a vaccine. And then not only do we need to take your vaccine, or get you to take a vaccine, but then we need you to get a certificate that says that you're immune. And then after you got the certificate that you're immune, actually we need to retest your family, because we may have to separate you from your family. Like, see, it never stops. And that's the thing. It just never stops. And this has been their testing ground. This Rona thing has just been the testing ground for that. And anyway, Somebody said, I'm glad we are tucked back as far as we are, and we got lucky with Homestead Rescue building our underground food storage. Wow, nice. Um, let's see. Somebody said that's what the brother does, get people off grid. Appreciate the shout out, guys. Yeah, we can help you out at offgridcontracting.com, guys. There's a few bookings left for this year, then it's on to next year. Um, Somebody said, I say to Yeshua to forgive me, embrace the inevitable, hide in plain sight until the end. I'm going to put the stupid mask on. If I don't, lose my six-figure job. I'm going to, I guess they're saying if they don't put the mask on, they're going to lose their six-figure job. It's crazy, man. Um, let's see. I am willing to die for my faith. I'm not sold out on dying for the American corporation or the flag because those are man and not y'all. Yeah, the thing is where I guess, and I should be more clear on that too, is the thing is we're getting past the point that the Constitution, is the way I see it, is no more than toilet paper anymore. The problem is they're starting to cross boundaries now, that they're imposing on me things that are going to start causing me to break Torah, and that's when I feel like bodies need to start dropping. And I guess that's the thing, is I'm trying to help you understand, is like right now is this boundaries that are being crossed on the Constitution's one thing. But when you start telling me that I have to give you my literal blood, and you start telling me that I have to give up the ability to worship and things like this, this is coming past the Constitution. This is you coming in between me and the Creator, and that my friend. Now that's fighting words. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. And I hope that I can clarify that, because guys, the America is dead. The Constitution is dead. The flag is gone. Everything that my ancestors fought for, my grandfather, my great grandfather, all these people, it's all been in vain. All right, because this country has become part of the New World Order. As a matter of fact, I feel like it's home base for the New World Order. You know, and I don't know. I feel like sometimes a friend of mine said to me, a real good friend of mine said to me, he was like, what if we were the bad guys? You know, like, we destroyed Nazi Germany and we destroyed all these things, but what if we became the very thing that we were, you know, trying to bring down? And that's a real interesting thought, especially in the last days in that which we live. It's like we became the very thing that we disdained. Let's see right here. Let's see what it says here. Somebody said, don't be afraid to lose your life for the cause of the kingdom. Absolutely. Somebody said they saw that video. Absolutely. Dude, that video was disturbing. Guys, I'll get to that video in a second. I want to touch on that a little bit more. Somebody said, I think there should be open season on pedophiles or rapists. Oh, boy. What? Okay. So somebody was asking here, what video of Buckingham Palace did he mention? Where can I find that? Guys, you need to Google child falling, climbing down Buckingham Palace. All right, that is a disturbing video. All right, because you can see that child is in fear for their life. No child ties up bed sheets and throws over a rail and climbs down a rail 3 stories down naked in public if they're not in fear for their life. Okay, this is disturbing. All right. Somebody said everything you're saying is truth. Appreciate you, brother. Absolutely do. Appreciate y'all, guys, because I mean, if it wasn't for y'all, there's no reason for me to be here to try to help people. Sorry, give me just a second. Do not trust in politics. Do not trust in man. Trust in Messiah. Absolutely. Hoax, hoax, hoax. You're right, brother. Just like man on the moon and globe earth. Absolutely. The one of a child trying to escape out of the window on a bed sheet. Yeah. Yep, that's it. Somebody asked if it's on YouTube. Yeah, guys, it is not on YouTube, because YouTube pulls everything. Are you kidding me? Like, you can't even pull up the missile hitting the Pentagon anymore, because you know, that just gets pulled every time, right? They must have cured heart attacks. They call them Rona deaths. Absolutely, Rona. Somebody said I've been married for 19 years. Not doing it again. Yeah. Oh, somebody must have got a good dose of video I was talking about last night. Somebody said the mask can make you sick. Absolutely. When do you think they will enforce the mark on us, guys? I feel like that probably here in the next couple years, we're going to see a serious shakedown on things, because the RFID chip thing has always been something I've watched carefully, talked about on this channel for like almost a decade. And there is all sorts of equipment in place nowadays that where you can easily wave your hand across the pad and pay. I mean, we've got iPay, we've got all this stuff that's in place, the RFID chip, the tap to pay with your credit cards now, and everything's in place to start receiving that. So, and keep in mind, please keep in mind that people are already taking RFID chips, such as states like Michigan, where they can do it to have their employment get in the building. There is a lot of places. There's a person I seen they had shared on Facebook the other day in Italy that they had got RFID chipped, and now they have a certificate. Now, it's just a stupid thing. They have an RFID chip, but yet they still need a piece of paper, apparently, that shows to people in other countries that they are safe now to transit to and fro throughout the European Union. And this is a thing I want to point out, too. I want to keep a mark here where I'm at. Okay, I want to point this out, too. And I may do another live stream. I'll probably do a live stream this week about this, because it's something I've been wanting to cover, is that the cashless society thing. Okay, now Nancy Pelosi was pushing that cashless society thing, right, in the first stimulus bill. Now, you got to understand that if you look at the movie In Time, Intime, Justin Timberlake in it, and whatever that beautiful girl was, man, she was beautiful. But anyway, if you look at that movie where that they had their currency on their arm, all right, replace that thought process with, okay, these people have an RFID chip. And then the next thing is keep in mind that they were compartmentalized. Like there was district here, district there, district here, district there. And keep in mind the Hunger Games kind of push this concept on people's mind too. You know, there's not like really a freedom to move between these districts, right? Well, anyway, the guy gave him all the currency on his arm. Well, then he was able to move between these districts and get into there. Well, if you look at that situation, like, see, that person just got that RFID chip the other day in the European Union. Now they're able to move freely within that area. But now see if they go outside there to, like, say, like Russia, right, or one of these BRIC nations or something like that. Well, then now they're in a spot because, you know, they've got to probably be checked there at the border. So what I'm saying is, it's like Satan's kingdom doesn't need to be overall. It just needs to be compartmentalized and fractured. And that's the big thing. And like I said, I'll do a whole thing about that on the cashless society stuff. But anyway, somebody said the mask can make you sick. I don't wear a surgical mask, N98 or N95. I use a balaclava. Face mask causes crap to your lungs. Welcome to the end of the world. Yes, they can. Somebody said Constitution is gone. Truth, Luke. Somebody said don't take the census either. Yes. Let me tell you about that. I know a man. Are y'all following me? I know a man that received multiple census things that somehow lost them. Let me tell that story again in case that somebody is clouded in their judgment and understanding here. I know a man that got multiple census notices that somehow disappeared. All right, y'all following with me? I would say that this man would probably encourage others not to fill out their census and return it. Anyway, the guy's name, it fails my mind at the moment, but I think y'all can figure that one out. Now, and matter of fact, let me just say something to that census thing, I am very on the fence about a census, because the one time in Scripture I think I can remember that a census was taken, I believe judgment was upon Israel. I'm trying to think, was it Solomon? I think it was David. I believe it was David, and the plague stayed between the threshing floor there because I think he had cried out, and it was like wickedness or whatever the number, whatever he done. I believe it was something the Most High God didn't want done, and it was a census. And correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, on that, and study to show yourself, prove to y'all, not to me, but study that out for yourself. But I'm pretty sure that was a situation with David in the book in the Scripture. And it's just strange to me. It's like, okay, the census was taken this year, right? And then all the crazy stuff that's happened. So there's that to add to all the other insanity as well. So I'm just going to say that, throw that in there for what it's worth. You have Yah's laws and you have man's. Absolutely. Who will you serve? Yeah, I've asked that before, folks. And I continue to ask that. Somebody said we've lost our rights. We must haven't come to the knowledge of it yet. Yeah. Somebody said exactly, David. I'm okay with the law of man as long as it does not step on y'all's laws. I think we're all on the same page. Absolutely. Somebody said, Shalom, brother. Thanks for the videos. Uh, yeah, somebody said, yep, they ain't figured it out yet. That it's done gone. Pretty much, that's true. Um, they haven't figured it out yet. Yeah, I'm in Ohio. Can someone tell me somewhere safe to go before all the crazy starts? Guys, I'll be honest with you. I just feel like there's hardly any safe places left in America anymore. And I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer on here. I am just trying to be a realist with you people, because the news on here all the time is going to tell you everything other than what you're going to hear here. So you can have a mental decision between two options instead of one opinion. But I'll tell you, if I had the money, I would actually leave this country. I just feel like that I would prefer to just get on up out of this place, because I feel like America is going to be paying deeply with the judgments to come in the trumpets. All right. But, if you're stuck here, I think, place in the Ozarks, place in East Tennessee, I think northern Florida might be a nice place, because you still have that tropical climate. I don't know, guys. There's just very few places left on my hit list for America. Somebody said, keep teaching us, bro. Hey, blessings to you, sis. And guys, I'm really going to try to start saying Baruch, because apparently blessings in English, I can't think of the word for a moment, what I say, but anyways, the deeper meaning of that. Man, that frustrates me when stuff just slips my etymology. The etymology of blessings in English means to bleed out, to let out blood. So I'm going to try to start saying Baruch more to people. Somebody said cashless society is coming. Absolutely. Watchmen, women on the wall, you are. Let's see. We don't need a president to tell us it's okay to have church gathering. Yeah, guys, somebody gets it. The lamb like a beast is beginning to speak as a dragon. Absolutely, guys. Somebody said spread the word in Yeshua name and Yeshua and Yahuwah's name. Absolutely. They're going to put the transgender President Barack Obama in place of the other transgender occult president Trump, and that's how they will impose the market. Ooh, well, I don't know about all, some of that stuff, but I mean, guys, there's going to be some crazy stuff shake up here in the near future. Ain't no doubt about that. A beast in Scripture is always a king to political power, not a man. Absolutely. Somebody said, thank you. Vagavan has it up on YouTube. Wow, all I got to say. Can somebody please share a link? Never known if you're still in this feed. Can you please share a link? If it doesn't approve, I'll approve it right now while I'm watching so people can check that out about the Buckingham Palace thing. And guys, if not, I can try to find and get a link in one of the video descriptions of the upcoming videos. Just somebody shoot me an email at number 7 trumpetsprepper@gmail.com, and I'll try to make that happen. Let's see here. Yes, it was David. 70,000 Israelites were taken in judgment after that. And see, that's another thing, is you can be a good person, but other people around you can still work wickedness and cost you your life. That's why we got to be in one mind and one accord on stuff. Somebody said New Kingdom order. There you go. I can't wait for a New Kingdom come. Somebody said 1 Chronicles 21. I believe that's where the situation happened with David. If that's so, Nicole, thanks so much. Yes, but where do we go? The thing is, okay, no safe place. You have that phone in your hand. Absolutely, you got to get away from where the cell service is. Guys, I'm going to wrap this up here in about 10, 15 minutes. Yeah, David took the census, 1 Chronicles 21. Thank you so much. So here's the deal. I tell people this, and I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. You have every right to agree, disagree. Okay, this is one of these things I'm going to share on this channel, that it is what it is. I don't hold it against anybody if they agree with me, disagree with me. We have this discussion often among us Sabbath keepers at Fellowship. And guys, I wish the Most High y'all would just speak to me one night and be like, Luke, go here, do this, and be prepared. And I love you. And I'd just move, buddy, because I'm telling you, when I got the burning sensation in my heart to be saved, accept Messiah into my heart, did it. When I felt the burning sensation to get up out of Babylon, up out of the church house, and actually get in the way of following y'all, I did it. Like when I get them burning sensations, I want to make a move on it. I don't want to delay to grieve the set apart spirit. But the thing that gets me is I tell people this. In America, 3 days after an event, look at Hurricane Sandy. People were walking the streets in New York. Look at Katrina. Now, I'm just using natural disasters, right? When you magnify that with the trumpets, okay, then here's the deal. A third world country, which is a crap hole normally, like take Venezuela, the next day is still going to be just a crap hole day. But here in America, people going to lose their mind because their cell phone didn't work and they can't drop an IG photo to get their validation and likes, okay? People can't go down here to the liquor store and get lit. I just, all this stuff, like reality is going to be a harsh one after it all hits. There's going to be murders and pillaging and plundering and revenges and heaven only knows. And so I'm just saying that, like, if you can disappear now, if I could go somewhere and just disappear off of society and I had the opportunity, I say take it because, heaven only knows we probably only got a couple more years before there's a window closing. Like, here's the frame on my phone, right? And I want to use this example, like they say, like cats can fit through an opening. They kept doing this opening, right? Smaller and smaller and smaller until it was like 10 centimeters that a cat could fit through a hole, right? Well, if we use that and say this screen that I'm in right now is the opening, like here was 9/11, and then here was the Patriot Act, and here was a lot of gun grabs and stuff over the years and state laws, and now here's Corona, and whatever to come is that real small opening slot starting to close down before there's no getting out anymore. So just to kind of put I imagine when the trumpets start, that window is going to be finally closed. And that's kind of where I feel like we're at with this thing. Now, so, I mean, if you don't make a move on it soon, I just feel like there's going to time come very soon. It ain't going to matter anymore. Somebody said, no safe place. You have that phone here. I believe the same. There is no complete safe haven, but at least getting out of the cities. And that's the thing, guys, because judgment's going to come in on these cities. There ain't no doubt about it. Today, Brother Luke. Today, Brother Luke, for always keeping it real. Absolutely, guys. Love all of you. We're going to try to keep it 100 in here always. Somebody, okay, shout out tonight to the subscriber of the evening is Never Known. All right, much love to you. For everyone wanting to watch the Buckingham Palace video, here it is. It is on YouTube. Watch naked child escapes the Buckingham Palace and falls to his death. That is the search that you need to put in if you're wanting to find that. Shout out to Never Known. That is the subscriber of the evening for this live stream. Mrs. Grace says people I know are moving to Tennessee for safe haven, especially from Florida with the one way out. Here's the deal, guys. I've been taking people off grid for years. Okay, off grid for years. I've never seen such an influx of people coming from California and all over the country to East Tennessee. Like, I'm not even having to leave the state to work some days anymore because these people are coming here now. I used to have to go all over the country, and now they're coming here. All right, said, you will be betrayed even by parents and brothers, relatives, and friends, and they will put some of you to death. Absolutely. Somebody said, yeah, absolutely. Great scriptures, guys. Right here, they shall put you out of the synagogue. Yea, the time cometh that whosoever killeth you shall think that he doeth the Elohim service. And I've said that I don't know how many times on this channel. We are so fast approaching that. Keep in mind that just like somebody said earlier about that, they wanted to go to church and worship, but other people felt like, no, we shouldn't be up in here. That you're going to have I'm telling you, I guarantee you most people that will be betrayed, it'll be their spouse, their family, or the people that they fellowship with. That'll be the first top tier people that will betray you. Keep in mind, folks, there's a Judas in every crowd. Messiah had a Judas in his inner circle. Nobody is exempt, y'all. If you ain't 100 with your spouse right now, if you ain't 100 with your family right now, there is this meme, and this guy's driving in the car, and he opens the side of the door, and he slides over and gently sits down against the pavement and lets the car keep going, and like the door shuts, and the meme says like me, peacefully and quietly exiting people out of people's lives right now. And I'm like, that needs to be us. There's people I've quit communicating with because I just don't want them to know anything about me, my life, or having anything to do with me when the stuff hits a fan. There's other people that I have been trying to further build my relationship with them tighter than it's ever been because I know our time is short and we need to help each other the best we possibly can. So now I'm just telling you that for what it's worth, all right? Now, I ain't an old man, gray-headed, with a lot of wisdom right now, but I'll tell you this much wisdom, that you better start applying. because there's some shady cats out here, and they're going to sell you out. Said people are moving away from family members because they're not preparing for what is coming. Absolutely, you've got to separate company. Somebody said guns, ammo, food, water, hygiene, footwear, clothing, water filtration, firewood. You got it. That's it. Shalom, brother. Where would you go if you could leave the U.S.? That's a wonderful question. Let me give you my top tier list. Belize is on my list. Costa Rica is on my list. Actually, I think it's in Fiji. I'm trying to remember if I think it's in Fiji, that if you buy into the government, and when I say into the government, see, this is the thing that you got to understand, and I think it's in Fiji, that the land is owned by the government. You get it for like a 99-year lease or whatever. And that's great. That sounds great to me. Let me just lease it because the world's going to fall apart. I don't need to worry about owning it, right? And then like they're selling tiny houses on the white sandy beaches over there. And so like you buy this house, it's like 20 grand. You invest a little bit more. Anyways, if you got like 50 grand invested in it, then you get citizenship, right? And the thing is, guys, I understand that like trumpet 2 may cause a mega tsunami wave, not to mention the earthquake in the beginning before the trumpets, and the earthquake that all the cities of the world are leveled in the trumpets. But like, there's an option because you got limited people. And if you can grow your own crops, you've got a tiny house, self-sustainable. You can heat your own. You can heat and cool that house. You don't really need to go anywhere. Like I said, limited amount of people have to deal with. And this is just one thing I'm throwing out there. Another thing is, it's a great place to disappear to. Like, dude, I know that it's wrong to bear false witness. So therefore, like going to a coroner and paying them to write your death certificate would obviously be wrong. And I don't want to break a commandment. But like disappearing or like running your car off the side of a mountain and it being set on fire and people think you died, and then like you left on a private flight, because obviously people catch private flights like Epstein's Island. I mean, like, only even Bill Gates was one of the few that ever got their name wrote down. I guess he was so famous he just had to write that name down. But if you could just catch a private flight out and disappear, I mean, who knows, guys? I mean, there's a lot of places you could get gone to and have a whole nother life, and people do it all the time. I mean, people start a whole new life over all the time and just disappear. And for many reasons. They had a bad marriage, they had a bad family, they got out of the military, they wanted to forget the past. I mean, just a million different reasons. People come here from another country and just start a whole new life, etc. And it just goes on and on and on. But anyway, that's just one example of like where I would go. Let me see what they said here. I agree with the door closing analogy. You can feel the nearness. If Abel's blood was still crying out in Messiah's time, can you understand the level of innocent blood on this land of America? Absolutely. He said, Luke, my brother, love you guys. Yeah, you need to help me in the Texas Triangle. Right. Been wanting solar. Hey guys, yell at me. I can probably work you in before the year's out. I believe as long as we take the step to relocate or prepare, no matter where we are, that y'all will do the rest. He will work out for all the good that put him out, for all the good that put him first. Yeah, and let there be light. Let me say this, and guys, I'm going to wrap this here in just a few minutes. Is where I'm at with it is now, I want you to step into my shoes for just a minute. Come outside the box, into the box, and be me for a minute. I've taken people off grid now. This is 7 years roughly in business. We're in our 7th year. And y'all will, and it's been a great run. But I've seen a lot of people they've got it all. They've got it all. Food, crops, power, water, shelter, sanitation, heat, the whole 9 yards, security. And I work for these people often, and especially after a divorce, now I've thought about this, is that I'm like, I've helped a lot of people probably survive what's to come by the grace of y'all. I've helped them do the physical part. Now the spiritual part's on the Most High, to guard and keep them. But I've thought to myself many times, it does cross my mind on the job side, I'm like, am I going to help prepare all these people for the end days and I die in a FEMA camp or be murdered? I'm like, what is my fate? What is my ultimate fate? I do ask myself this often as I continuously help people get off grid with my construction company. And keep in mind, folks, I've traveled across this world, not just in America, but across the world. And, like I said, somebody hit me up to go over and do a job in the Middle East the other day, and that's like second or third time I've been hit up about work over there. And I was just thinking about it. I'm like, what is the ultimate fate for my life? And I think we all should ask ourselves that question, and we should be able to find peace with the fact that if we do have to die a witness, then it is what it is. because I know there's one that's greater than I that has the power of life and death and to resurrect, and that's all that matters to me. But I just wished that, I would know. I know we all would like to know our fate, but I would just like to. I would like to really look into the future if I possibly could and just see where that things would shake down for me, because there's a lot of folks that I've done everything in my power to help them. Heck, I'm going to help a brother of mine first of the week, and he's a true Hebrew Israelite, descendant of Abraham, the so-called black man, true Hebrew Israelite, but not the imposter Jews, but the true one. And he's like a brother to me from another mother. And, I'm going to help him on his place, and it's just like I spend time with him, helping him get his place ready, and I'm just like, I'm so thrilled that he's hidden away from this world in a very remote place. And it's just like I said, I hope a lot of these people I've helped and worked for survive this thing to come. But a lot of this stuff that's going on, it does make me wonder, where am I going to be when it all hits? What am I going to be doing? And will I die in a FEMA camp or get my head lopped off for the witness of Yeshua HaMashiach and Most High Yah set apart word and his commandments? Like, what is my fate? And so just for what it's worth, that's my thought. Guys, I can't shake that thought sometimes, and all these things going on, it just kicks it up more and more. But somebody said, a man's foe shall be of thy own household. That's right, Luke. Yeah, everyone in my family will turn on me when the stuff gets thick. Guys, I tell you, this ain't no joke. This is just serious stuff. Listen here, it's so mind-blowing to see how many people are blind. It hurts every time you see someone sleep, slap the out of them and say, wake up. This is the time we need love and prayer. Absolutely. Yes, Fiji, you speaking my language, bro? We all going to have to just get us a tiny house in Fiji. Man, y'all should check that out. Seriously, if anybody's wanting to relocate out of the country, you should look into that one. Like $50,000 investment. You get your home, your land, citizenship, and passport, the whole deal. It's like, that's a great backup plan. If you just got 50 G's laying around, and I know, like, dude, I got like a couple grand in the bank. That's it for me right now, right? But I'm saying, like, seriously, if you had like 50 grand, there's a serious backup plan right there. Somebody said, this is true, let there be, but the book also says many of us will be tortured and killed for his sake. Absolutely. Somebody said, video by Bomb Bomb Som Som on YouTube, but it shows a man holding on sheets and the person videoing is laughing. I don't see the child. Then that's not the correct video, guys, because I'm telling you, there's one. There's one with it's some serious sick stuff. Somebody said, can't get around property taxes, guys. It's a business transaction to pay taxes. Mark, no transaction, no land ownership allowed. Absolutely. I came out 2 weeks ago. Hey, Luke, what are your thoughts on moving to West Africa? I'm going to come right back to that. Sheloid Hunter. Hold on just a second for that. Yes, sir, go ahead. Somebody said, don't run, stand united. The powers and the people. I'd rather die like a man than living like a coward. And that's the thing. I'm not saying die like a coward. I'm just saying that it's wisdom to get away from the wickedness. Abraham stood and watched Sodom and Gomorrah burn from afar, and he wasn't no coward. He was just wise enough to get up out and stay away from trouble. And so, I mean, if it comes down to shoot bullets, folks, I mean, well, I say give it all you can give it. Now, somebody said my thoughts on moving to West Africa. Now, here's my thoughts on that, guys. Now, y'all know I'm not racist at all. Matter of fact, this coming conference, there's as many Hebrew Israelites as there is people speaking from the nations or singing. I'll just say that. But now I want to make this comment. It's going to sound racist. And I don't mean for it to, but there's no way getting around it. I am the wrong shade of color for West Africa. Africa is not a friendly place right now to foreigners, and especially the white man. And it's because of the messed up crap that Britain has done to Africa in the colonialization and the transatlantic slave trade and crap like that. People are still bent up about that, and rightly so, and people are coming to their senses. And, if you're a Hebrew Israelite descendant, man, if I could get up in West Africa and at least have me a passport, I see people that I know that I'm friends with, they're getting it done, and I say, go for it. Man, if you can get over there, absolutely. Ghana, get you a backup plan, because listen, when this all goes down, Africa is going to stand solid. I'm telling you, I think Africa is going to be one of the few continents when this all goes down that they're going to be lock, stock, and barrel standing together. I think Africa is going to finally unite as one whenever stuff really starts getting real. Keep in mind, folks, they're starting to make their own cell phones over there. They got infrastructure. Listen, if China shows up and tries to hook up with you, you know you got something going on. And China's trying to hook up with them. All right, so I'm just saying there is an option, and I think a lot of Hebrew Israelites, true bloodline descendants of that, I think they should jump on that. But I mean, like, I hate to say this, guys, I'm just like the wrong shade of melanin to be there, and it's nothing about racism. I don't care. I love you, white, black, yellow, green, blue. If you're purple, we need to get you to the doctor. You're having a coronary problem with your heart or something. And I'm not a physician, I'm an electrician, but I think if we're seeing people purple, we need to get them to the hospital. And if we see them green or gray, they're probably Nephilim or fallen angels, and we should probably shoot them. But with that aside, the rest of us, yeah, I mean, I don't care what color you are. All people are, I love everybody, and I want to see everybody in the kingdom, but Africa's a strange place right now for a man like me. I think that they would just look at me as some Brit. I don't know. People say I have such a crazy accent that who knows? They may be like, man, where you from? All right, you cool. But like Britain and all the stuff that's going on, like the farmers that were being murdered, I think it was towards South Africa and stuff like that. It's just it's a bad situation. And but I tell you this, with that said, if I was a bloodline descendant of Abraham, yeah, I'd definitely be getting me up a passport for that place. I'd try to get citizenship because, man, I see this sucker lighting on fire, I'll just jump ship. I'll go over there. I mean, that's just my 2 cents on that. All right, let's see. Did I get that where somebody asked about? All right, here we go. Somebody said, love your videos, brother. Absolutely. Somebody said, call for an uprising channel. Had a video he released a couple days ago. It was a documentary, at least 25 years old, that told of kids being taken, sold, murdered, used for sex. Man, I'm telling you guys, it's called Pizzagate. It's terrible. Somebody said, I live in a major city center and have been praying for y'all to make a way for me to go off grid. It hasn't happened yet. I'm at peace with whatever happens. I was born for such a time as this. Praise y'all. Absolutely stand strong. Answer your question, Luke. Daniel 11:35. And some of them of understanding shall fall, to try them and to purge them and to make them white, even to the time of the end. Very good verse, J.D. Israel. Somebody said, remember, we were born for such a time as this. Suit up and time to go. With faith, this world ain't the true reward. Absolutely. And there is a song, I can't think of it. I've got it on my playlist for construction. It's like I was born for this or whatever. It's a great song. I can't think of who the name of the guy is, but it's great stuff. It's a really good song. I heard it sitting at TG's house one day at the steakhouse, man. And I was like, man, that's a great song, and I found it on YouTube, but I can't remember the artist. Somebody said, I pulled that one. It's out of a young man. I pulled that one. It's of a young man, boy, not a child. I guess they've removed it. That or to make something to mock it so that you don't take the real one serious. Who knows, guys, what they're doing anymore. Somebody said, right about Africa, Luke. I receive you as a brother. Color doesn't matter, sir. Absolutely. Well, that's what I'm saying, guys. I love everybody, but you got to understand there's a lot of worldly people out here, and they don't understand what's going on at the scriptural level. And so, therefore, I'm just as good as one of the Brits, and I can't fault people for looking at it that way, okay? Because a lot of people's been mistreated for a long time, and there's an end of it. They will be able to discern your spirit in Africa. That's probably true. That's a good thought. People over there have a very discerning spirit, and I know people over there in ministry, and they're good people. Somebody said I'd go to the Congo if I was Israelite. Plenty of Israelites there, and I believe that's the land, not fake Israel, that was a decorated to look biblical. Just my 2 cents. Shoot the green and gray people. There you go. So it said, The Naked Child Escapes is on Vagavan YouTube channel, guys. Everybody's confirming that that's the child is the child video. That one is. Somebody said it's a sister and her husband that's in Africa. Been there for a year, still don't have citizenship. Man. Well, I mean, I've seen where people's got their passport stuff and everything. So, I mean, just some food for thought, guys. Something worth looking into. Guys, I'm going to wrap this up. It's not racist, Luke. It's situational awareness. That's a very good point, guys. That's excellent wording. So anyways, guys, love everybody. Hope this live has been helpful to everyone. I've got some lives coming up this week. I'll definitely pop in here live with you this week. Now, for those of us who keep Father's Lunar Solar Biblical Calendar, keep in mind that SAT Day is currently rotating up, starting tomorrow, New Moon Day. The Sabbaths will be on SAT Day, so that frees me up that when I'm out here in the field, I'll come straight home, pop off some lives. I'll probably do some pre-record on some stuff. But anyway, I hope this video has been a help to you guys. I hope the Hard Truth Show is making a difference out there. I hope you're sharing this with people, because a lot of us in this, I mean, guys, I read y'all's comments, and I even go back and, in future videos, when I see it's in here, I even talk to you about stuff that was on previous ones, And, where's your bottle of Coke? I actually, I actually was in such a hurry tonight, guys. I didn't even have a bottle of water or Coke, but that's funny. That's my signature drink on here, That's funny. But there will be no, guys. I think some of you are confused. We're not saying flee like a coward. What we're saying is that if you're living, I'm gonna say this. This will be my last comment on this stuff, guys. I'm gonna wrap this up. If I lived in a city where that somebody got shot, murdered, raped, killed on my street every week, would you really want to live there? No. Then if I move out of that area, does that make me a coward or does that make me wise? Because somebody may come knocking on my door and trying to kill me one day, but I'm going to defend myself. But why do I need to constantly put myself in danger? That's my question, which I'm asking. So, anyway, let me look, because there was a couple more fired off real quick. Guys, we can get in on the rapture thing coming up. Somebody email me a reminder of that, and I will definitely, we will definitely address that. We can make a whole show out for that. Somebody said shalom from under the dome. Hey, shalom, Kingdom Truther in the house. There's somebody that's been with us a long time, and we will get on that. Just somebody please email me the reminder of that. And there was one other thing I was going to talk about. Guys, remind me. But anyway, I love y'all. Y'all keep him. I hope the Most High y'all keep you and Baruch you, make his face shine upon you, show you favor, and give you shalom, my friends. Love y'all, and y'all have a great night in Yahushua's name.